All right, so last night or this morning, as I always say last night, but this morning was the premiere of Obi-Wan Episode 6, also known as the finale. Now, going into the finale of Obi-Wan, I was nervous and I was excited, but I wasn't sure how they were going to pull it off. I was hoping they could pull it off because the season I've enjoyed it. It's had its ups, it's had its downs, but for the most part, I've had a really good time with Obi-Wan. But I just feel like it was being rushed. So I was nervous going into episode 6. And so, of course, episode 6, the finale starts off. This was really the finale of confrontations because we got Obi-Wan. He's on the ship with all the people that have just gotten off of Jahib, and they're being chased by Darth Vader and the Inquisitor, who they still haven't explained how he's alive. So Obi-Wan is being pursued by Darth Vader, and all these people are being pursued, and Obi-Wan realizes, or he knows, that Darth Vader is only there for him. So Obi-Wan's like, let me off this ship. I'm going to lure Darth Vader away from you guys to this planet and have our own little fight. Of course, Leia's like, don't go, Obi-Wan. We don't want you to go. But he does it anyways. He goes, and sure enough, as he goes off, Darth Vader's ship follows. The Inquisitor even says to Darth Vader, like, he's just one Jedi. We have a whole bunch of people here. We need to take them out. And he's like, no, it's Kenobi or no one. I want Kenobi. So Darth Vader follows Kenobi in his own ship, and they land on this planet. Now, this was a slight disappointment to me. But if you guys remember, when they released the concept art of what they called the rematch of the century, it was Obi-Wan and it was Darth Vader, and they were on like this lava planet that looked very similar to Mustafar. And I always just assumed that the fight, the rematch of the century, was going to be on Mustafar, Obi-Wan versus Vader again on the same place where they fought last time. And maybe they felt like that was going to be repeating themselves a little bit too much because the show has repeated beats from previous Star Wars shows and even the prequels already. So maybe they decided to switch it up and they decided to just go to this kind of gray, boring kind of planet. I mean, it was just full of rocks. It looked very similar to the planet where they fought on in episode 3. I wish there was a little bit more of a switch up of scenery for their second battle. But guys, this second battle, man, this was good. This is what the show was made for. You got Obi-Wan fighting Vader once again, and this fight, guys, is one of the best fights in all of Star Wars. This really harkened back to the end of Revenge of the Sith for me, where Obi-Wan and Anakin are fighting on Mustafar. The moves were very similar, but they felt more scaled down opposed to the fight in Revenge of the Sith, which I think can seem a little too choreographed at times. You can almost see the actors thinking through their minds of how they're gonna do their next move, and okay, I'm supposed to duck here, I'm supposed to do this here. Whereas this one felt more organic. This one definitely Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, who I believe is in the suit the entire time. They are swordsmen still to this day. They haven't missed a beat. This was a fantastic fight. I loved it. There's a part where Vader like smashes his hand on the ground and sends this earthquake and throws Obi-Wan into this pit. And the way that he was standing over Obi-Wan, don't tell me that I was the only one that was waiting for Vader to be like, it's over, Obi-Wan. I have the high ground. I was waiting for him to say that. It was framed perfectly for Vader to say that to Obi-Wan, but he never did. Anyways, I was really into this fight. I thought that this fight was so great. And what I love the most about this fight is you see Obi-Wan be Obi-Wan again. We didn't really get a training montage with Obi-Wan gaining his powers back. Even Vader says, oh, your powers are returned, but you're still weak. Just the way that he was fighting, you could feel it. Obi-Wan was back. General Kenobi was back. And of course, this fight, not the episode, but this fight ends with the way that this show was meant to end. This finale could have been Obi-Wan Kenobi sitting on a toilet, reading a newspaper, waiting for Darth Vader to show up for 45 minutes. And then Vader shows up, and if they ended that episode of Obi-Wan on the toilet the way that they end this fight with Obi-Wan slashing Vader's helmet open, the episode would still be a win for me. Because I adored this. Obi-Wan slashes Vader's helmet open. You see the eye of Anakin Skywalker. You see Hayden Christensen. He is behind the mask. And what I loved so much about this moment is the way Obi-Wan just instantly lets his guard down. And Ewan McGregor's performance in this moment when he says Anakin, the tears welling up in his eyes, seeing his friend again for the first time in 10 years, and Hayden Christensen giving the performance, and them mixing the voice of Hayden Christensen with the voice of Darth Vader, switching back and forth. Whoever came up with that idea, man, best idea, one of the best ideas in all of Star Wars, because you get Anakin there, and Obi-Wan's all like, Anakin, and he's like, Anakin's gone, and Obi-Wan just breaks down, and he finally says what he has to say, because the whole season, this whole show, Obi-Wan has had it on him, the guilt of losing Anakin, the guilt of him turning to the dark side, the guilt of losing all the Jedi. He feels that on him so strongly, and he says to Anakin, I'm sorry for everything, I'm sorry for all of it, Anakin. And he just turns it back on Obi-Wan, and it's kind of interesting. It's funny because in my mind, it was almost like Anakin was saying, "Don't worry, Obi-Wan. Don't be so hard on yourself." Because he says to Obi-Wan, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. I am not your failure, Obi-Wan." And it was almost like him giving Obi-Wan permission to forgive himself, which is what Obi-Wan needed to do throughout this entire series. And Obi-Wan, he looks at him, he says, "Then my friend is truly gone." He takes that burden off of himself, and he just simply says, "Goodbye, Darth." Which is kind of funny because in A New Hope he calls him Darth, only a master of evil, Darth, and that's always been a thing of like, why does he call him Darth? That's not his first name or anything. So that was a nice callback, and then the way that he just called after Obi-Wan, like he's wheezing, which I loved the wheezing sound they brought back from Return of the Jedi after Obi-Wan slashed him open, and he's yelling after Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan! Like it was so great because you could just hear the rage, the pain, the hurt, the vengeance in his voice. There was so much going on there. This whole end of the confrontation made this show worth it. All the ups, all the downs, all the things that didn't really work for me, this made it worth it. Now, going to the things that didn't work for me, as this is going on, we are cutting back to Tatooine, where Reva is going after Luke at Owen and Beru's. Okay, this is the part of the finale that really did not work for me, is the Reva stuff. Why is Reva still alive? Can someone answer that for me, please? Because in episode 5, she gets stabbed through the gut by Vader. We saw it happen. When Qui-Gon got stabbed through the gut, that guy dropped faster than a sack of marbles. I don't know. And she's just fine. She's just running through Tatooine, chasing his boy, chasing his parents. Owen and Beru have blasters. They're shooting at her. This whole thing did not work for me. I don't. Luke in A New Hope in the original Star Wars movie always came across as he's never seen anything, like he's never had any adventure. He even says to C3PO, like, if you're looking for the brightest spot in the universe, you're on the planet that's furthest from. Like, nothing happens on Tatooine. Nothing's ever happened in Luke's life. He's never had any adventure, any excitement. Now here he is being chased by Reva with a red lightsaber after him. They kind of cheat a little bit because when she catches up to him, for some reason, Luke's just passed out against a rock. I guess all that running tired him out, and he forgot he was running for his life, so he took a nap. And then you see Reva seeing herself in Luke, which I like the parallel. I like the idea of Reva seeing, like, this is what Vader did to me. Look at what it did to me. I don't want to do that to this kid. The problem is that the redemption or that moment for Reva just did not feel earned to me. In episode 5, I truly believe that she should have died. That should have been the end of her character. I think it made way more sense than where this episode took her, because she wanted to get on Vader's side. She worked all that time to get on his side so that she could kill him. She got the chance. She took the opportunity. You're not going to kill Vader. Vader kills you. And that's how her end should have been. I still stand by that. So the whole part of this finale where Reva is going after Luke, I didn't like it. And also at the end when she's bringing Luke back and Obi-Wan's there, and she's like, I chose not to be him, and all that stuff. Like, I guess that they were I get that they were trying to go for an emotional beat with her, but it just wasn't earned because her arc was so rushed. I truly think that Reva should have revealed that she was trying to get on Vader's side to kill him in like episode 2 or 3. It just got way too late, and it just kind of contradicted things we have seen in the show before, because Reva's sparing Luke's life. She's like, I can't kill this kid because he reminds me of me. I see myself in him. But she was totally fine about to torture Princess Leia in like episode 4. She didn't look like she was like, oh, I'm hoping someone's going to stop me because I don't actually want to do this. She seemed like she was willing to go through with it. She seemed ready. She was going to hit the button herself before she got pulled away. So why is she okay torturing little Princess Leia? But, Luke sleeping against a rock. Well, that reminds me of me. I don't want to do that. So all the stuff with Reva really in the show didn't really work for me. So, Obi-Wan, he gets Leia back to Alderaan. They have a sweet goodbye. I thought that was very sweet. I still think that by the end of the show, it's weird that Leia knows Obi-Wan in this way. I mean, I just think back to the moment in A New Hope where Obi-Wan dies and he looks to Luke. And obviously the focus is on Luke because when that movie came out, only Luke had a connection. Only Luke had a relationship with Obi-Wan. So now we have a scene in A New Hope where Obi-Wan looks to Luke. Luke yells no as he gets slashed by Vader. And then in the Falcon, when he's mourning, Princess Leia comes over and puts a blanket over him and comforts Luke, who's known the guy, assumingly, at least in this way, for like a day, maybe a day and a half. Whereas Leia spent like what, a week maybe with him. Why isn't Luke comforting Leia? Why isn't Leia? Why doesn't she seem more heartbroken by Obi-Wan's death in A New Hope? It's just little things like that when you add stuff like this into the show, it just kind of it adds those questions in my mind that I don't think ever needed to be there. To be honest, I did like though when Obi-Wan gets back to Tatooine and he sees Owen, and Owen's like, do you want to meet the boy? You want to meet Luke? And he goes over there to meet Luke and hand him the toy, and he says, hello there. Like, that was a good use of the hello there. We've been waiting for it all season, and there it was, hello there. And I like that he met Luke by the end of this, because that makes sense. Because Luke is aware of Ben Kenobi. Maybe he's that old hermit. Maybe he means that old hermit, like in the original Star Wars movie. So that worked for me. I thought that was well done. I liked seeing the Emperor again at the end of this with Vader on his castle in Mustafar, and the Emperor gives him a call, and he's like, hey, is your feelings for Obi-Wan causing you weakness? And Vader's just, no, Kenobi means nothing to me. Vader's just so alone. You can just feel it. Like, Vader has just lost everything. And, oh, man, they captured the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker, Vader, in this show so well. Now, let's talk about perhaps the biggest thing that didn't work for me. And I don't know, this might be an unpopular opinion, but Qui-Gon Jinn coming in the last 5 seconds of the episode, played once again by Liam Neeson. Now, look, yes, it was cool to see Liam Neeson come back as Qui-Gon Jinn in this show. However, the way they did it was really lame. I don't care if I'm the only one who's saying that. I thought the way that they brought Qui-Gon into the show was lame. Because throughout the entire series, throughout the entire show, Obi-Wan is calling out to him, calling out to Qui-Gon, master, master, master. He's not getting any response. And the way that they decide to pay that off is he shows up for the last 5 seconds, looks around because Liam Neeson is probably surrounded by green screen. So he's like, why am I in a green screen room? Where's all the cast and crew? And Obi-Wan's like, Qui-Gon. And he says a couple more words, but he basically says the equivalent of, yep. And then you just go he says like, oh, I've been here the whole time. You just couldn't see it. Like, I understand what they were going for, but it was lame to me. Like, Qui-Gon is ultimately responsible for Anakin. Qui-Gon's the one that like tested the midichlorians, brought Anakin to the Jedi Council, and like convinced them to train him as a Jedi, and then pawned him off to Obi-Wan. If you ask me, Qui-Gon should have come in at a pivotal moment of Obi-Wan, facing Vader or deciding to face Vader and have an actual conversation with Qui-Gon Jinn about Anakin, about Vader, about what he's become, about what they need to do about this. I think a great moment in the finale to actually like add his voice is when Obi-Wan is under the rubble that Vader has just piled on top of him, and then Vader just kind of like walks away. I thought that was kind of weird that Vader's like, yep, I crushed him under rocks. That's satisfying enough for me. I'm out of here. And and Obi-Wan's under there holding the rocks up. You get the voiceover of all the moments of Anakin. You get like a bunch of lines from the prequels. You get some lines from the show that we've heard him say, and that kind of gives Obi-Wan the strength to like burst out of the rocks and really come back at Vader. I think in that moment it would have been so much better. And again, I'm not a writer on this thing, so maybe this is a crap idea. I think that's the moment you add Liam Neeson's voice as Qui-Gon Jinn. You finally get him connecting to Obi-Wan while he's under all the rocks, and he's the one that gives the motivation. He's the one who gives the words to Obi-Wan that influence him and get him to power back up and come back at Vader. I just think that the way they did it, where he just pops up at the end and goes, roll credits, like just wave and roll credits. I thought it was lame. I wanted more out of it. I will say that the Obi-Wan Kenobi finale, like this show, ups and downs, some things that bothered me, some things I really liked. The moment between Hugh McGregor and Hayden Christensen, Anakin half in the mask, was worth it. Everything that we've been through, everything good, everything bad, was worth it to get to that moment. For me, the finale did satisfy me. I did have a good time with it. It had some great stuff in it. And I wish there was more episodes, but as far as this being the last one, I thought it was a decent way for this show to go out. What did you guys think of the Obi-Wan episode 6 finale? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions. Did this work for you? Did it not work for you? Did you love it? Was it disappointing? I want to hear it all. So comment down below. And without further ado, let's see what you guys are saying.